Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Wira Ufnijar. I'm fifth semester of STKIP Muhammadiyah Aceh Barat Daya, and today I wanna present to you guys about my proposal presentation for my final of subject qualitative research in this semester. Alright, the title of my presentation is The Role of Wattpad in Enhancing High School Students' Reading Motivation. You know guys, why I choose this app as the object of this study? That's why and because I have been using the application for approximately 5 years. Based on my long-term experience, Wattpad has significantly contributed to enhancing my reading motivation and has also played an important role in improving my literacy skill. Through continuous exposure to diverse texts and genre available on the platform, I have developed better reading habits, vocabulary, and comprehension abilities, which make Wattpad as a relevant and meaningful subject for this research. Okay, now let's move to the introduction. The first is background of study. The 21st century has helped us transformation in literacy due to the technological advancement and digitalization. In addition to books, students now read digital texts on gadgets like tablet, smartphone, and reading social media apps. Because students must be ready to effectively browse, choose, and access electronic texts, as well as utilize interactive features and network through digital reading. Digital literacy is crucial according to current ideas on digital reading. Student reading experience are impacted by the differences between digital text and textbook in terms of structure, web page, multimodality, and interaction. Right. The next one, I have research question. The first, I will explain the research question. This study is guided by two main research questions. The first question is, how does the use of Wattpad enhance high school students' reading motivation and engagement? The second question is, what specific features of Wattpad that contribute most to improving student interest and reading habit? This question aims to explore not only the impact of Wattpad on student motivation, but also which features of the platform play the most significant role in encouraging reading. And then let's move to research objective. Based on those questions, the objective of this research are: first, to investigate how Wattpad influences high school students' reading motivation and engagement. The second one is to identify which Wattpad features most effectively enhance student interest and reading habit. Nah, after all, this objective help focus the study on both student experiences and digital characteristic of Wattpad itself. The next is literature review. The first one is theoretical review. In the literature review, this study discusses several key theories and concepts. The first is reading motivation, which refers to students' willingness, interest, and desire to engage in reading activities. The second is digital reading and digital platform, which highlight how technology can change reading behavior and learning engagement. This study examined Wattpad as a digital reading platform focusing on its interactive and user-generated content. The study used self-determination theory or SDT, which emphasized three psychological needs. The first one, autonomy, the second one, competence, and the other one is relatedness. And then finally, the study discusses Wattpad features relevant to reading motivation, such as comment, like, genre variety, and mobile accessibility. Then previous studies have shown that Wattpad can enhance student motivation for digital reading. Research suggests that it improves reading comprehension and engagement through relatable stories and interactive features. Wattpad also supports digital literacy by encouraging creativity and emotional connection with narrative. However, there is still a research gap, especially in understanding Wattpad's impact on reading motivation through self-determination theory, particularly in the context of Indonesian high school. And based on what I've shared, this gap becomes the main justification for conducting this research. And the other point is conceptual framework. The conceptual framework of this study is based on self-determination theory and consists of three components: input, process, and output. The input include Wattpad features such as interactivity, autonomy, community engagement, and mobile access. The process refers to how students interact with Wattpad. For example, by choosing stories, tracking reading progress, and engaging social through comments. And the last one is the output is increased reading motivation, higher engagement, frequent reading, and the development of positive reading habit. Alright, the last one is about methodology. And in the methodology, I have 5 points that I want to discuss with you. The first one is research design. This study employs a qualitative descriptive design. A qualitative approach is chosen because the research aims to understand and describe students' experiences, perception, and motivational factors when using Wattpad as a reading platform. The second one is research subject. The subject of this study are senior high school students who actively use Wattpad for reading activities in daily. Participants were selected using purposive sampling, which means they were chosen based on specific criteria relevant to their research objective. Alright, the next is research instrument. The research instrument used in the study include: first, a questionnaire sheet, second, an interview guide, and the last one is observation checklist. This instrument help collect comprehensive data about students' reading motivation and their interaction with Wattpad. And the last but not least is data collection. The data collection was carried out through 3 main techniques: questionnaires, interview, and observation. Using most using multiple techniques allows the researcher to gain deeper insight and to validate the data through triangulation. And finally, the data analysis. Data analysis in this research follows the interactive model of Mile and Haberman. This model consists of three concurrent steps: data reduction, data display, and conclusion drawing or verification. This process ensures that the data are systematically analyzed and that the findings are credible and well supported. Alright, so now we so close with the closing and summarizing. So, in conclusion, this study seeks to explore how Wattpad as a digital reading platform influences students' reading motivation and habit. By using a qualitative approach and self-determination theory, this research provides insight into how digital platforms can support reading engagement among high school students. Alright guys, I think that's all that I can discuss with you this time. Thank you for your attention and sorry for the mistake that I made in this presentation. I am so happy to answer any question. So if you have any question about this presentation, let me know on this comment. Okay? See you next video. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.